Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk Wordy. Today, I am so excited to sit down and do a full debrief on my first impressions pre-night one, or I guess week one of season 34 of Dancing with the Stars. As you can tell, I am a big fan of the show. Better yet, I am a die-hard fan of the show. Okay, there's a difference between being a big fan and a die-hard fan. If you are going to come up to me and say that you are a die-hard fan, I'm going to look you in the face and I'm going to say, okay, do you remember, were you there for Marie Osmond when she fainted after her dance and Tom Bergeron had to go to commercial and we all thought that she was just going to pass away on the soundstage? Were you there? Did you cry yourself to sleep when Sabrina Bryan was shockingly eliminated on Mark Ballas's first season? Because I did. Did you, a second grader, have to ask your mom for help calling in a vote because you had phone anxiety? Yeah, back when we had to dial the number on the screen that popped up as they were dancing. So as they were dancing, you would have to oh my gosh, not focus on them dancing and type in that phone number and call them and say, hey, I want to place my vote for X person. Yeah, what a time. Do you even know who Tom Bergeron is? I miss him. Why they fired him, I will never understand. Anyways, let's get back on track. Dancing with the Stars, first impressions. And again, this is before we've seen them dance. So my opinions are subject to change. And they likely will. Because I'm never fully correct. It's not like we're predicting who's going to get the final rose on The Bachelor, okay? This is still ABC. But we got to be smart about this because votes can change on a dime. Bachelor Nation, we cannot vote. It's just we watch everything back. Everything has already happened. It's not real life. It's not real time, I guess is what I should say. This is real time. Things can change on a dime. People can get injured, sick, self-eliminate, whatever. So, like I said, I'm a diehard fan. So, what qualifies me to solicit these opinions and potentially influence you to agree with me? Well, like I had kind of hinted at, I've been watching the show since 2005. As a 2000s baby, that means I was a wee 5-year-old when I started watching this. This was something that me and my mom really bonded over. I would remember she would have to make dinner at 6 o'clock so that either dinner was done by the time it came on, or if it started later, if dinner started later, I would eat at the table during commercial breaks. And of course, run to the bathroom during commercial breaks. Or stop eating at the table, go sit on the couch to see everything happen, and then go back to the table during commercial breaks. It was a time. Fun fact, this is a cool little tidbit about me. Emmett Smith and Cheryl Burke back in season 3 actually rehearsed at my hometown studio that I grew up dancing in, and I got to briefly interact with them when I was 6 years old. I mean, come on. I was probably wearing some god-awful combination of pink ballet tights, a black leotard, and I was too young to understand that you're not supposed to wear your underwear, especially the patterned underwear that 6-year-olds wear, with your dance outfit. So Emmett Smith probably saw my drawers, whatever. I was 6, leave me alone. But I was so starstruck, especially in the presence of Cheryl Burke, reigning champ Cheryl Burke, that is, because she won back-to-back mirror balls with Drew Lachey and then Emmett Smith. And he was a Dallas Cowboy. Now, I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know what football was. I was just a girl. Whatever. I never wavered on this show. Let's talk about some of my favorite pairs. My favorite pairs include, but are not limited to, Milo and Whitney, obviously. Riker and Allison, obviously. Jason and Daniela. Jason and Daniela will go down in my personal Hall of Fame of partnerships. Jason's story and personal growth on the show is just so incredibly moving, and Daniela is an incredible pro. Going back to Cheryl Burke and Juan Pablo de Pache. Nobody talks about their pairing. I cannot believe that they got cut in the semis. They should have gone all the way. I said what I said. And then, of course, Meryl and Max. There are definitely more, but those are the ones that always come to mind fresh out of the gate. And my other qualifications. I am writing a Dancing with the Stars inspired rom-com as we speak. For all of my visual watchers, and for my listeners, I'll let you know about it. On my table, I have what I would like to call my comp titles for the work in progress that I am writing, aka my Dancing with the Stars inspired rom-com that has no title because I'm indecisive. So on the bottom, we have on the bottom page, you were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. Just kidding. This is Attached at the Hip by Christine Riccio. I love her. Very funny, quirky girl takes somebody's place on a Survivor type reality show mixed with romance. I can't see which one's next. Oh, Heartless by Elsie Silver. That's a big comp title for what I'm writing. Take the Lead. That is very much like a Dancing with the Stars inspired rom-com. So it sounds similar, but hers again is celebrities. The ones that I'm writing is of normal people. And then on top, we have The True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren. So those are your comp titles. Yes, I'm writing that book. Hit me up about it. I'll talk about it at some point on this podcast. But enough about me. Let's discuss this casting. I'm going to discuss the pairings based on my personal excitement. And again, without having seen them dance, because as an ex-dancer, once I see somebody dance and I see their personality a little bit, their ranking in my head is going to go higher. So last season, the big one for me was I saw Daniela and Dwight Howard. I saw their cast photo and I was like, this is ridiculous. Homegirl is tiny. Homeboy is massive. Like, I understand she won a mirror ball with Iman Shumpert. She could do it again with Dwight Howard. But I also was just like, oh my gosh, like this is comedic at this point. And then I saw their salsa on night one and I was like, oh, they're going all the way. I'm going to ride or die for them. And I did, in fact, have a meltdown crash out when they got eliminated. So these are based on personal excitement. And I'm going to go from least rooting for to most rooting for. Let's get into it. At the bottom, we've got Corey Feldman and Jenna Johnson. This should come as absolutely no surprise. Now, I want to start by saying first that I have a theory, and it's the first dance theory. So the last 2 seasons that we've watched, the first couple to dance on night one, or, week one, they happen to have won the show. So last season, Joey and Jenna danced first, and then the season before that, it was Val and Sochi, and they both won the mirror ball. So I'm going to be curious about if they put somebody competitive in that first slot. I'm going to be keeping my eye on them. But I mentioned that because Jenna Johnson was last year's mirror ball winner, obviously. So let's see, I really don't think they're going to make it far. And I rank them so low just because, like I said, she just won the mirror ball. Please give somebody else a turn. She's got 2 mirror balls now, and I love that for her. Her husband has 3. Whatever. We'll get into that in a second. But whoever she's partnered with, like, I had to Google him, I'll be honest. He's an actor and in Gremlins, Stand By Me, and The Goonies, but he's also a musician. But he just looks messy. He looks like he causes drama, and this is not for me to spew hate. This is just low-key me judging a book by its cover. Also, the blonde dye is hideous. Get rid of it. He looks like a douchebag, and I just don't really care about him. Best of luck to them. If they go far, this is going to be kind of embarrassing, but I don't know. I don't think it's Jenna's year again, and that's fine. Like I said, she won the mirror ball. I don't want them to win. Next up, I low-key am going to switch this because my next inclination was to say Andy Richer and Emma Slater, but actually I've been watching them on TikTok and I'm already getting like a better sense of his personality. I didn't know Andy Richer before he was cast. I can't rank them lower than Hilaria Baldwin and Gleb Savchenko. I'm sorry. First of all, bringing back Gleb, the PR nightmare, compared to Sasha, my beloved, pack it up. I'm actually so mad about this. And look, it's not because I hate Gleb. I think that the guy has so much talent. I saw him on tour, obviously. And the man was incredible. He was professional. He had suave. He knows how to perform. And like, I've been watching him since his early days, and he's really good. Now, is he a little slazy, especially with any of his partners that are on the younger, more conventionally attractive side? Yes. However, I also want to acknowledge that before I saw them dance last season, I saw him and Brooks Nader's cast photo, and I could have sworn, I was like, maybe this is Gleb's year to get a mirror ball, because something about, like, obviously she's a model, and so she looks incredibly fit. And I was convinced. I was like, this is his year. Like, he's got somebody who looks tough as nails. Turns out she's just got RBF and a terrible personality. Now I am being a hater. I don't like her. I don't give a rip about Love Thy Nader. No thanks. Anyways, so with this new partnership, Hilaria is an attention seeker, from what I understand. Again, I am not chronically online to the extent that I know all about Hilaria Baldwin. I know that she is Alec Baldwin's husband, and there's all sorts of stuff with that. What I do know is that Hilaria has ballroom experience, okay? This is a lot deeper than just having dance experience, because if you have dance experience, you have concept of rhythm, some technique, depending on how long you've been dancing, what kind of dancing you're based in. Ballroom dancing is, in any other case, this would low-key make me think that you're at least going to be on the podium, like third place or higher. The problem is, she is probably so hated, not tolerated in any sense by anyone, and she's dancing with Gleb, and Gleb is in a lot of trouble with audiences and social media. Like, I don't know if Love Thy Nader is coming out like episodically, or if it's just all batched out and you can binge the whole show now. But that show, even if I don't agree or enjoy those girls, or just, Brooks, I actually don't know anything about her sisters, so I'm not going to put that on them, but it's going to read him to filth, and it's going to lay him to waste. And I worry for him, low-key. But not enough for me to really change my ranking on either of them. They are not going to go far. They have the perfect recipe to go far if they were decent people. And I think to their loved ones, they probably are. But to the everyday viewer who gets their news off of social media, I don't see them making it past week 4, truly. Like, I don't. Even though I've seen clips of her doing samba, and samba is arguably one of the hardest ballroom styles for dancer newbies, and obviously she's not a ballroom newbie, and I saw her dance and I was like, holy crap, in any other circumstance she would sweep this competition, truly. And obviously Gleb can't play into this showmance route, this showmance ruse, because she's literally married. They're out of options. They're not going far, and I'm not really rooting for them. But I'm excited to see how they dance together, because it's going to be magnetic. I have to admit, like, even if they annoy the crap out of each other, they both are such big attention seekers, and they want perfection so bad for themselves, if not for each other, for themselves individually. They're going to dance well out of spite, but I don't think it's going to secure them the votes. Okay, now let's go back to our other pairing that I was originally going to put below them, but that would be a hate crime. Andy Richer and Emma Slater. So it makes me so sad, because this woman, she wins one mirror ball, which was, for a while there, contingent on the fact that Heather Morris and Max got shockingly eliminated. I feel like, I am not millennial, okay? But the millennial shock elimination of Sabrina Bryan and Mark Ballas, That was for millennials. Heather Morris and Max getting eliminated after their amazing, perfect scoring rumba. That's the Gen Z's equivalent to Sabrina Bryan and Mark Ballas getting eliminated. So, anyways, all that to say, because Heather Morris and Max got eliminated, I feel like that is how Emma and Rashad were able to go in and take that mirror ball. Now, don't get me wrong. They were extremely talented. They worked hard. They did earn it. But had Heather stayed in the competition, controversy or not, it was going to be a tough battle. So ever since that happened, I feel like once she nabbed that mirror ball, they've started pairing her with all of these sweet, or if not sweet, just sweet older men, or just older men who fade out before the halfway mark. And genuinely, producers, I beg of you, unless she specifically requests that so that she can do work for like the tours or behind the scenes work, whatever. If she's doing that, great. But if not, please, for the love of God, let her compete for real. She is so talented. I know that some of y'all got to see her not just host the tour, but dance. I understand she's not getting any younger, but she dances in a way that is just so breathtaking and timeless. It pisses me off that she is lessened to the degree of these older men that are partnered with her. However, this guy seems very sweet. He's a comedian, most popular for being Conan O'Brien's sidekick, and he seems nice enough. But again, pretty low on my personal totem pole. But hey, if he is more mobile than Reggie, he might last longer than most would guess. You never know, because we saw firsthand how competitors that are cute and like beloved because they are cute, not because they can dance, they will beat out people, a couple years younger, maybe a decade younger than them, that are actually trying. We saw that with Tori Spelling. Tori Spelling and Pasha were cut on the first round, along with Anna Delvey. Anna Delvey just needed to go. I'm sorry, Ezra. Anna Delvey needed to go. Thank God she did. But Reggie lasted longer than frickin' Tori Spelling. And I think that's wild. Hot take. So yeah, those are my thoughts on them. I love Emma, and Andy seems really sweet. And truth be told, if they are cute enough, they will get one of my votes. Okay, moving on. This is going to shock some people, okay? This next ranking, because we're still at the bottom of the pack about who and again, this is based on who I am least to most interested in. So let me speak my truth, you guys. Next up, we've got Alex Earl and Val Schmerkovsky. Watch me rank them this low and then eventually be drawn in by their rehearsal packages and start rooting for them. And they win. Here's the thing. I don't want to root against anyone, but hear me out. Val recently won a mirror ball back in season 32. Mind you, also winning that at the cost of robbing my two favorites, Jason Mraz and Daniela Karagosh, might I add. And listen, I know that's not entirely his fault, but this man has 3 mirror balls under his belt. And here they go again, giving him a young, in shape, conventionally pretty partner. Stop the madness, okay? Stop. Please stop doing this. Val does not need to be another Derek Huff. There is one Derek Huff, and he is now on the judging panel. Derek Huff won 2 rounds of back-to-back mirror ball championships, okay? I want to curse. That is absolutely bonkers that twice he won back-to-back. 4 of his 6 mirror balls were back-to-back wins. Nobody does it like Derek Huff. And I don't want Val Schmerkovsky to try and be Derek Huff. And I know he's not. He's just doing his job and he's dancing. But I just had a thought. Is this what communism is like? I want everybody to win at least once. Everybody be on an even playing field so that it's fair. Maybe I'm learning something. Oh, well. Anyways, so yeah, he's got 3 mirror balls under his belt. And I really need this show to give other pros and other stars, frankly, a freaking fighting chance. Like I said, there only needs to be one Derek Huff, you guys. Alex Earl, I don't know anything about her. I have no hate, but I have no love. I don't know anything about her. I know she is an influencer, but she never comes on my For You page. I don't follow her. That's not my niche. And I bet she's sweet. I bet she's really kind. And I bet that she's going to make it far enough for me to be like, oh, I think you're so cool. I'm going to follow you now. But I'm not there yet. And I don't care. I really don't want, again, I don't want to root against anyone. But Val, you've had 3 mirror balls, all 3 of which robbed my favorites. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Okay, I'm done. Just, how about you and Jenna take a break with the winning? I can't believe I'm saying that. Take a break. Stop being so damn good. Just like flop for a little bit. Okay, moving on. I love them. I love Val. I just am indifferent to Alex Earl at this point. You know, strike me down, whatever. Okay, moving on. I think we're now in our middle tier, maybe. I don't know. I haven't been counting. Next up, let's talk about Elaine Hendricks and Alan Burstyn. So we're hitting the middle of the road. And I love Elaine Hendricks from Parent Trap. If you don't know, this is the woman that played Meredith Blake in The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan and Dennis Quaid. And yeah. First of all, rewatching that movie and realizing she was 26, like her character was 26. Me being 25, I'm like, yes, girl, take his money. Take his money and the vineyard. And Dennis Quaid is gorgeous. Gorgeous. So anyways, I love her from The Parent Trap. And I will say Dancing with the Stars, the show, changes lives, okay? Alfonso Ribeiro actually said it himself in, I think, one of the show's promos or like a live interview. The show genuinely changes lives, and although we don't really know, I don't think I know of anything she's done since Parent Trap. So the fact that she's giving this show a chance might be a really big redeeming factor for her. Not that she's done anything bad, but just something to give her a nice, like, confidence boost. I see her having this kind of Melora Hardin potential. So fun fact, Melora Hardin, who plays Jan in The Office, she placed 6th. And listen, strategically, as a viewer, watching somebody, a woman, you know, her age, you wouldn't think that she would go that far. So I think if Elaine goes full throttle, she could, this is very, bold, she might make the semis. Or like close to the semis. Especially if they do that annoying thing where they take 5 people to the finale. Do not freaking get me started on that. I absolutely loathe entirely. Why are they taking 5 people to the finale? Stop that crap. Be ruthless. Cut people every single week. Do not take 5 people to the finale. I am so bothered by it. Because when they get to the finale is like 3 years long and I'm exhausted. It's a work night, okay? Because it's always on Tuesdays now. Fun fact, were you watching Dancing with the Stars when it was Monday and Tuesday night? If not, lower your voice when you're speaking to me. I'm just kidding. Okay, so anyways, yeah. 5 people to the finale is ridiculous. I'm really fighting the urge to drop an F-bomb. I'm fighting it, and I'm doing pretty well right now. So anyways, 5 people to the finale is stupid. Cut people every week and frickin' cut people in the semis. Do not make me watch 2 hours worth of semifinals just to be like, you're all going to the finale. That's dumb. It's dumb and it's a waste of my time. It's literally rage bait. I hate it. I understand that everybody's so proud of each other and it's camaraderie. Cut somebody. Draw blood. I don't care. Cut somebody. Because the finale is supposed to be the top 3 couples. It's like the Olympics. You're in the Olympics in the ceremony. You're not going to have 5th and 4th place standing on the floor when you've got 3rd, 2nd, and 1st on the podium. The other two are just auxiliary. Stop. I feel like it even diminishes their placement because when I'm watching the finale and they announce all 5 remaining placements, it makes me realize, oh, you really didn't get that. You did get far, but like you didn't really get the podium, even though you're in the finale. You got 5th. That's not high. Okay, there's 13, 14, and you got 5th, and you're in the finale? Cut the crap. Just stop. No, it's so stupid. Anyways, going back to Elaine and Alan, the fact is Alan just got 2nd place in the last season. That's why we were bringing up the finale, because he was in the finale. He was 2nd. He was on the podium. Although I argued they should have been 5th or even 6th, but that's a conversation that nobody's ready for. Whatever. Personally, I think he shouldn't have made it as far as he did, but whatever. He also has a mirror ball under his belt, so I'm a little biased. I understand that more pros can accumulate more mirror balls. Good for them. There's going to be a couple cases in here that I'm going to, rally behind that. But I don't know. No hate. No hate to Alan at all. I don't think this is the pairing that's going to do it for him. I hope they get far. And personally, I'm glad that him and Alona didn't get the mirror ball. Sorry, I said what I said. Anyways, moving on. Next up, we have Baron Davis and Britt Stewart. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I had to Google this man. Apparently, he is an NBA player. Now, NFL players historically have great success on the show, but basketball players don't do half bad either. The 2 most recent basketball players were Dwight Howard, as I mentioned, tall king, love him. I was a ride or die for him, and Iman Shumpert, both of which were paired with Daniela Karagosh, and one of whom won the Mirrorball Trophy. Okay, it's a good track record, as of recent seasons at least. On the downside, this man is pushing 50. And again, I'm not ageist. I'm not. I still need to see him dance. But historically, Britt is also getting these older, sweeter, less likely to meet the halfway benchmark partners. And that makes me kind of upset because I'd love for Britt to win a mirror ball for herself. She deserves it. She works so hard. She is so kind. She was literally dance captain on their tour. Like, she's head honcho. She's good. Okay, she's more than good. And I just, maybe he'll have some moves. Maybe he'll surprise us. I know Dwight Howard freaking surprised me last season. So maybe he'll surprise me. But I don't know. I'm not getting my heart set on them, but I wanted to place them in the slot because I love Britt Stewart. Next up, another pro that I love that I really want to rally behind so that they win a mirror ball is Brandon Armstrong and Lauren. Here we go. Listen, before I started recording this, I looked up how to pronounce her last name because I've been calling her Lauren Jaguar since Fifth Harmony days, okay? Jauregui. That's literally the phonetic pronunciation that I wrote down in my notes, and I don't even think it's right. Lauren Jauregui and Brandon Armstrong. Okay. I really thought Whitney Levitt was going to be partnered with Brandon Armstrong because they both hail from Mormon territory. So, heartbroken about that. Now, with Lauren being an under-captured addition to the cast, like she wasn't able to make promo filming for whatever reason. I don't think she's a last-minute addition to the cast. She's not like a Jen Tran who got added like the night before. She just had, I think, some filming conflicts. But I feel like they might be dark horse potential if they buckle down. Now, if you don't know, probably not because you're just now finding out how insane I am about this show. I always have a dark horse prediction on top of like finale predictions. So, and I feel like dark horse is more fun because you can see it sooner than you can see the finale contestants. So I have 2 this year because it could be either or. I think Lauren could be dark horse potential because she gives me this kind of aloof, cool girl, I don't really care vibe. I want Brandon to have a mirror ball. He's starting to be more socially present online while also simultaneously having dad energy. I think that he still has time, but I would love for now to be his time. I really thought that last season was going to be it with him and Chandler, and I was shocked. I was shocked when they got third. So let's see if we get some redemption. Now, usually my dark horse candidate is not the winner. It's just the contestant with the biggest arc, even if it's not like the most successful as far as scores and voting, but you can just see the transformation they've had. I think they could be a dark horse candidate. And I'll get into my second one in a little bit because they are ranked a lot higher. Next up, we have Dylan Efron and Daniela Karagosh. Fun fact, I didn't know Zac Efron had a brother. I also didn't know that he was famous. I have never watched Traders or The Traders, whatever the show is called. All I know is that I love Daniela Karagosh so much. If I ever met her, I would probably like break out into like shaky sobs. She's genuinely such a force to be reckoned with, and she gives me the impression that she is just so overwhelmingly nurturing and kind. She just adapts so well to all of her partners. And she's had a really interesting range of partners, okay? She's been sandwiched between two NBA or former NBA players. In the middle of that, she had Jason Mraz, who's like, in his 40s, and he sings these kind of adult contemporary songs, and he took one dance class in college and like got really embarrassed and never danced again. And then they went on to do one of my favorite freaking freestyles in the show's entire run. Also, she danced with Nelly. Hello? If you want to go and take a ride with me. Yeah, him. And somebody else. I can see his face, but it's just not showing up. Kind of buff dude. Whatever. Anyways. So she's had a good range of partners now. So I'm mainly rooting for this partnership because of her, because obviously I don't know Dylan Efron. However, he might be athletic and he's going to have some voting poll game. Okay. Now, every year since the show has been streaming on Disney Plus, there's been a Disney dance night. I have a feeling he will get far enough to go participate in Disney night. And when he does, Lord in heaven, I understand that he wants to be his own individual, but can we please get a High School Musical dance number? Can we get a bet on it or a Scream dance performance a la Zac Efron? Especially with like basketball choreography or him just running around the golf course having like an emo boy moment, whatever. Okay, moving on. Next up, I'm excited to talk about this one. Next up, we have Jordan Childs and Ezra Sosa. Okay. I want to open this up with one of my favorite Dancing with the Stars theories that I've ever come up with, and it has a really good track record. Bear with me. I call this one the second season stealer, okay? So this is when a new pro, the season before, their first season, they have had a partner that either put them through hell or it was just their first season and they tried and maybe they got far, maybe they didn't, but typically they've had a partner that made their first season really difficult to the sense that producers were trying to see if they would be weeded out and if they would be able to handle the pressure of being a pro on the show. But then in their second season, they get a better partner as a reward and then they win the show. Okay. Here is my track record for why I think this is a real thing. This is an actual phenomenon that I have recorded. Whitney's second season was with Alfonso and they won. Daniela and Iman, that was Daniela's second season. Jenna Johnson and Adam Rippon. Mark Ballas and Christy Yamaguchi, okay? We've got a good lineup. And even if they don't win, think about Riley. She went to the finale in her second season. She almost went to the finale in her first season. Thank freaking God she didn't because Harry Jowsey couldn't dance worth a damn. So we all know Ezra's personality. He is just infectiously fun and so hilarious, socially savvy. But I don't really know a lot about Jordan's personality. And I'm really excited to see more of it because gymnasts historically do very well on the show. Okay. Lori Hernandez, Ali Raisman, Suni Lee, Simone Biles, Shawn Johnson. I can't wait to see more of Jordan's personality, not just like her gymnastic skills, but then in return, I can't wait to see Ezra's choreography. I think for people who are watching the show that have no understanding of dance, they don't understand how critical a pro's choreography is to the success of the partnership. So I'm really excited to see what Ezra has up his sleeve, especially if they get further along in the competition. You get to see more styles. I would love to see Ezra do an Argentine tango or a paso. I oh, I rock with a paso so hard. Okay, moving on. So, upper middle of the pack for me as of right now. But I'm still kind of crossing my fingers that they might make the second season Steeler phenomena happen again. Okay, just a little bit above them is our next couple. It is Scott Hoying and Riley Arnold. Listen, I think a lot of you are sleeping on him because everybody and their mother and their dog wanted Riley and Robert Irwin to be paired together, and I understand. I see the vision, okay? I'm not disagreeing with you. They even wanted to be partners, I think. At least Riley did want to be partnered with him. However, I think that this new pairing is absolutely goated, okay? He is just beloved. He's got the Superfruit YouTube fandom from way back when. He's got the Pentatonics fandom. It's a universal fan base. And then on top of that, Riley is a social media machine, okay? I just know in my bones that he's going to give his all to this show. Scott just wants to be involved in this, and they're going to have so much fun. Frankly, I'm shocked it took this long to get someone from Pentatonics on the show. When she and Steven went to the finale, it was great because even though I think I knew that they weren't going to win, they fed into each other and they really bought in, okay? And I think that Scott is going to be like that too. And so I think it could be a recipe for finale standing. Okay, here's my other dark horse candidate. Hear me out. And this is more of like a plea to the universe and to God than it is probable. So that is Danielle Fishel and Pasha Pashkov. I haven't seen them dance, but depending on how they do, I really think that they could be a dark horse candidate. They've got a really good fan base with Girl and Boy Meets World. Now, I think I have heard whisperings of her being problematic, and I haven't heard anything of it, so I'm a little uneducated on that front. I would literally do anything for Pasha to have a mirror ball. His wife has one. Yeah, just one. Daniela has one, but when they both went to the finale 2 seasons ago and made history as the first married couple to compete against each other in the finale, I literally sobbed tears of joy for them. I love them. He is such a wonderful person. He's well behaved. He is not a PR nightmare. He is so supportive of Daniela and the rest of the cast, and watching him on tour was absolutely incredible. He gives me teddy bear vibes. I feel like if I had to go on the show and somebody said, tell me which pro you probably would feel the most comfortable with dancing, whether it's their teaching style or how they speak to you, I would pick Pasha. He gives like young dad, obviously because he has a younger daughter. He's a girl dad. He gives girl dad energy. I feel like he would speak to me with respect and dignity, and he wouldn't raise his voice at me. He would be patient. And I think just seeing like him and Danielle's, like his partner Danielle, not his wife Daniela, seeing their chemistry just talking on Good Morning America when the cast was revealed, I just really love them. And I hope that they, get enough weeks together to like really explore that. And Pasha just deserves more love, and I'm really tired of people ignoring him. I'm hoping that they're dark horse candidate material, but we'll see. Next up, we're getting into I think we're in the top 3. Okay, here we go. Next up is Jen Affleck and Jan Ravnik. Okay, the fact that we have Taylor Swift's dancer as a pro is absolutely goated. Thank you, Mandy Moore. The Swifties are locked and loaded, okay? We got a Taylor Swift night 2 seasons ago, which was so fun. And now we have a Taylor Swift dancer from the Eras Tour on this freaking show. I'm trying to use like a respectful adjective because he's so yummy. I'm sorry. Have you not seen the clips of him dancing in Lavender Haze with the ladder? If he brings out the ladder, I will die personally. Okay. But back to the fact that they are paired together. Leave it to the producers to pair Jen with a man who looks like a Chippendales dancer after the fiasco with her husband on the show, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. As a married woman myself, I love personally that they, like Jen and her husband, have worked very hard to patch up their marriage and make things work. And like not tap out when things get tough. Because that's a really, really tough, that was really tough to watch back in the show. So good on them. Good on the husband for rolling with the punches, because he probably knows that he's going to be poked fun at and be the butt of a joke about it for several years to come. But anyways, I actually saw a clip of them rehearsing lifts today, Jen and Jan. And I think they could really do something. I think they could do some damage in this show. The only thing that I am wary of is Jen just had a baby. And listen, women can do anything. Okay, the way that Jen looks after having just had a baby is mind-boggling. She can get it done. The problem is we saw her after her during her third pregnancy. She had such bad depression and really struggled with mental health decline. And I know how grueling the rehearsal and preparation and competition process of this show is. And for her mental and physical well-being, especially being freshly postpartum, I just worry for her. And I hope that she takes care of herself and sets boundaries. I think if anybody is going to self-eliminate, excluding any major injuries, I think it would be her. But I also feel like she's way too self-determined to do that. Another thing I want to mention about this pairing where I'm like, yes, I like the pairing, but I don't know if they'll take it all the way, is there has never been a pro dancer who has won the mirror ball on their first ever season, excluding season 1, but that was everybody's first season. It has never happened before. Now, Jan could prove them wrong. He's got a decent partner, but the odds are kind of stacked against them in this sense. So, top 2, here we go. Next up is Whitney Levitt and Mark Ballas. Okay, Mark returns back from the dead yet again. I really thought that when he came back to the show, if he ever came back, he would have replaced Carrie-Anne on the judges panel. Now, this is not a space for Carrie-Anne hate, mainly because I don't want her to ever find this. But the last season, kind of the season before that, I'm getting pretty sick of her. I feel like she's just making some comments to have more screen time and rage bait people. But anyways, moving on. I think Mark brings light to Whitney's dark, quote unquote. The public is pretty split on Whitney. So I think he's come in to balance out the negativity surrounding her, because everybody loves Mark Ballas. The Mark Ballas, son of the Shirley Ballas. Come on now. However, I also think he's really good to spotlight her dance experience. If you didn't know, Whitney actually got a degree in dance in college. So I would argue that she knows what she's doing as far as, rhythm, style, endurance, all that good stuff. But contestants with dance experience are also pretty polarizing in this fandom, and I think we really saw that with Chandler last season, because you could be sweet as pie and really, a great sport in the face of criticism and just, be freaking talented. But the real fact of the matter is the emotional journey that you as a contestant are going on, but also giving to the audiences to perceive. And if Whitney doesn't have a redemption arc, her dancing is not going to do anything for her. So even being paired with Mark will not be enough to save her. So we'll see. Will she go on enough of a redemption arc to win the votes? Who knows? Better yet, will Mom Talk survive 2 of its members duking it out for 1 trophy? I don't know. And in the end, I actually don't think it's going to matter. I don't think it's going to be up to either of them, because my number 1 pairing that I am rooting for this season, as of right now, without having seen any of them dance, is Robert Irwin and Whitney Carson. Okay? This man's got a legacy to uphold. His sister Bindi won with Derek back in season 21. I think that was 2015. I remember watching their first dance to Crocodile Rock, and I was like, oh, everybody else is in trouble. Robert was a lot younger when his sister went on the show. And I just remember he did this precious Skybox interview about one day wanting to be a part of the show and compete on it. Like, it would be so fun for him. And now he's here. And I just think this guy is a crock pot full of potential, okay? He has, ideal athleticism, likely. I've never seen him play a sport. I have seen him wrangle some animals, though. So, he's young. He's got, in girl terms, he's got pretty privilege. I'm sorry, like, he's hot. And better yet, he's nice. And triple threat, he's Australian. Girls love a man with an accent who are golden retrievers and conventionally attractive. He has the full package. The ladies love him. He's just all around beloved. And I genuinely don't think that there is any source of internet footage or whatever that could give people a negative perception on him. Also, he's carrying the promos for this show on his back. He was the first, he was the first celebrity announced for this season, and I just knew it was going to be a good one. Because I think a lot of us have been begging for him to be on the show for a while, and he finally caved, or his schedule aligned. Now, reckon everybody wanted him to be with Riley. We had already touched on that. But him being paired with Whitney Carson is an absolute dub. Do not sleep on my girl, Whitney Carson. I know she stepped out of the show for a while because she had kids. She wanted a break. She came back last season with Danny Amendola, and the fact that she took Danny Amendola to the finale speaks volumes. I think she could steal another mirror ball. I think this could be redemption for being robbed with Milo. It's been a fat minute since Whitney won her mirror ball with Alfonso, and I think it's time she got another one. And I think if she's going to nab it with anybody, it's going to be Robert Irwin. I really think it is. So there you have it. There are my season 34 of Dancing with the Stars early predictions pre-dancing. So do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know your hot takes. You know where to find me on social media at TalkWordyPod. Let me know your thoughts. I'm very excited for this season. I was literally just thinking to myself, what am I supposed to do now that the Summer I Turned Pretty is about to wrap up and Bachelor in Paradise is over? What the heck am I supposed to watch on my weeknights? And I'm about to have this back. This is my Super Bowl. I need to put together my Dancing with the Stars fantasy bracket. But before I do, again, if you have any thoughts or disagreements on what I might slate into my slots, let me know. I would love to hear about it, and I'm always down to clown as far as Dancing with the Stars opinions, especially Golden Age Dancing with the Stars. If you are an OG fan, or if you watched it back in the glory days, please get in my DMs. I love talking about old school Dancing with the Stars. I love this show the way it is now, but it also at the same time is not the same as it used to be. So, but I love that so many people are finding it because this show has, one, raised me, two, filled me with so much joy, but also a couple moments in my life where I cried myself to sleep after eliminations that shouldn't have happened. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So thank you so much for listening. I'm so excited for this season. I will likely be doing like short little season episode recaps as the show unfolds every week. Talk Wordy Tuesdays are going to be interesting because I won't be able to talk about each episode until the week after because the episodes do happen on Tuesdays. Or do they happen on Wednesdays now? Not me just casually forgetting. I'm pretty sure it's Tuesdays. But I can't wait for this season. I hope that you're as excited as I am. And if you're not, hop into my DMs and I will get you excited about it. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.